Honorable Mulder.
Madam Speaker, in Northern Ireland, the saying goes that a breach and a traitor have one thing in common. They both go over to the other side. We saw something of those emotions yesterday in these debates. In Northern Ireland, they killed each other over religious differences. In Belgium, language differences led to conflict. In Eritrea, ethnic differences led to a 30-year civil war. In the French Revolution, it was the rich against the poor. America frequently has race riots. Malaysia and Singapore have special measures to prevent racial tensions between Malaysia, Chinese, and Indians. In the above-mentioned countries, one difference between groups was enough for conflict. South Africa has all these differences in one country. Religious differences, language, ethnic, wealth, racial differences, and many more. History teaches that one spark can set off a huge fire in dry grass. In our history, a lot of blood flowed in clashes between white and black, white and white, and between black and black. Currently, the sparks of racism are being thrown into dry grass everywhere. The problem is that the majority of these comments generalize. Let me give an example. All white people are racists, or all black people are criminals or corrupt. A generalization is always wrong, because all people are not the same. So when the ANC Lekgotla says in a recent statement, the black majority believes that their attempts at nation building are rejected by the white minority, it is a dangerous generalization that incites and divides people into camps. When the President says all the problems of this country started with Van Riebeeck, it's a racist oversimplification of our complicated history and a generalization. The same goes for saying all land was stolen. History is just not that simple. Go and read that. What does the FF Plus say? Racism is a very serious issue that must be condemned unconditionally. Racism from the side of white people or black people carries the germ that could destroy South Africa and all human relations. Similarly, generalizing is always a mistake. But leaders must set the example. Leaders from all sides. Leaders determine the tone of such debates. Therefore, I want to repeat it in Afrikaans. Racisme is 'n baie ernstige saak wat veroordeel moet word. Racisme van swart kant of van wit kant dra die kiem om Suid-Afrika en alle verhoudinge te vernietig. Net so gevaarlik is veralgemening altyd 'n fout. What does this lead to? In Stellenbosch, there was a student party with the theme Space and Stars. Two female students decided to depict aliens. They painted their faces purple with glitter dusted over their bodies. This led to a racial outburst on social media. The students were suspended and bullied for a week by the authorities. Racism was the charge. How absurd. So I brought with me a photo in the dining hall of the University of Cape Town. On his T-shirt is written, "Kill all whites." It's apparently not racism, it's just freedom of speech. Sir, we've totally lost the plot. Purple faces are racism and kill all whites is debating. This man wants to kill Derek Hanekom just because he's white. Sir, Gabonthoni Rampa is a 21-year-old student from Badidi in Northwest. He obtained 10 distinctions in his first year. He cannot get any bursaries to continue with his studies. When Chris Johnson, a businessman from Vereniging, heard of this, he donated 150,000 rand to allow Rampa and two other students to continue with their studies. Sir, Johnson is white and he does not throw Rampa at all. Now, sir, this is South Africa. Now, kill all whites means that this businessman must also be killed. How crazy and how dangerous are we playing these games? So we see extremists in this house also. Don't see them now. President Kennedy said, and I want to quote him, he said, what is objectionable about extremists is not that they are extreme, but that they are intolerant. Race relations in South Africa are worse now than at any time since 1994. In a speech in this House, President Mandela said that the success of the 1994 negotiations has been that there are good men and women to be found in all groups. And if they can jointly come together, and we can realize and get to the common good. Is this still possible, sir? In South Africa, I believe that it's time that political leaders from all groups, but also business leaders in South Africa must come together in a government of national unity to get South Africa through this crisis. Remember, when the South African ship sinks as a result of racism or economic implosion, we all sink together. I thank you.
Achtbare Speaker, 'n punt van orde.
What's the point of order, Honorable Groenewald?
Achtbare Speaker, toe die achtbare Dr. Mulder verwys het na die slagspreuk van Kill All Whites, toe was hier 'n aantal ANC parlementslede aan my linkerkant wat bevestigend het gesê het, ja, if they have the guts, they should stand up and withdraw. Because it's unacceptable that I sit in this parliament and must hear that all whites must be killed. I ask your ruling and that they stand up.
Who is the honorable member?
I can't name them, but if they have the guts, let them stand up and say, I said it, and let them withdraw that.
Thank you, Honorable Groenewald. Honorable, can I see if there's anyone who can own up to that issue? Thank you, Honorable Groenewald, for pointing it out to us. We can only follow it up later because nobody is owning up to it.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. But it just shows you people saying that are a lot of cowards. That's what they are.